Hello and welcome to webinar number 2 for Think You Know Symantec. And today we're going to be talking about Symantec's integrated network protection. So, quick agenda. So, first thing we're going to talk about the security trends and the role of the secure web gateway. The advanced secure gateway. We're going to go through. That's what ASG stands for. That's a quick overview on that. Then we're going to talk about models and pricing and how that's changed from the proxy SG, secure web gateway. Then we're going to look at the actual user interface and how it looks. And finally, we're going to talk about the commercials. So these are the security trends and issues that have been impacting web security and the challenges facing IT departments today. So mobility, which is the increase in devices which demand to be on always and the need to access services from anywhere at any time. Encryption. There's an increase in encrypted traffic, hiding malware and causing data loss as well. Exfiltration. And trends. So what are the trends? So users are now defining the corporate parameter. That's a big change now. So there's an increased encrypted traffic. We have greater integration with business partners, Office 365, etc., third parties, SFDC, and the growth in complexity of cybercrime, which increases the complexity of network security in the DMZ. So what's the impact? The impact is remote offices and users are now creating the security gaps, creating a loss of opportunity without strong security policy and authentication. This increases the risk and the impact of data loss, fraud, and damage to your corporate reputation. So let's look at some of the challenges in the IT environment that are affecting the role of the gateway. When the secure web gateway started as a technology, it was developed primarily for control, specifically around company policy and regulatory compliance. And this has involved with the increasing level of threats on the web to include protection and security from malware as part of the definition of web security. The role of being the internet gateway at the edge of the network has obviously evolved. So no longer are employees just on the corporate network. Increasingly, they are accessing the network from corporate and personally owned mobile devices on the corporate network, public networks, home networks, and even over 3G, wireless, 4G, and LTE. And finally, the IT department may once have had control over the apps the end user put on their systems and use. That's no longer the case on both corporate and personally owned devices, as many users install apps that make them more effective regardless of whether IT has sanctioned them. So, as a recap, the proxy is back, and it's more important than ever for delivering absolute security whilst protecting your organization from evasive malware. It does this by terminating connections and fully inspecting all objects coming across the network. So here's what they look like, the new advanced secure gateway. And as you can see here, it's a complete secure gateway and a content analysis service functionality in a single appliance. So this is something that everyone's been waiting for a long time, because traditionally we had the secure web gateway and the proxy AV, so you'd have to hand off over your network content to be scanned. Now by the proxy AV and now the content analysis, but now that's combined. One appliance that does both. Oh, sorry, the other thing I meant to talk about there. So the other benefit here is you've got broader range of options and pricing, especially around the lower user count, higher bandwidth deployments. And the other benefits obviously are here. So you don't need 2 appliances anymore. You just need 1 appliance, so that's reduced rack space. Obviously, again, one appliance, reduced power consumption, single user interface, and a low entry cost point. And the other good thing as well, these are now field upgradable. So let's have a quick look in comparison. So as you can see here, the Advanced Secure Gateway doesn't have the Mach 5 capabilities that the Proxy SG has, but it does have the ability to scan using more than 1 antivirus engine, so you can use up to 2. And again, all the other features, you've got on-box whitelisting, connect to sandboxing, user-based pricing, and threat intelligence services like the Global Intelligence Network. So let's have a look at the underlying technology. So it's based on the new S-series platforms. It's a single software image combining the FCOS and the content analysis. And the main thing here, so any updates will be applied to the whole box. So there's not like a virtual secure gateway and a virtual content analysis. It's one appliance that does both now. Excuse me. And the other benefit here is you've got an integrated configuration management console, CLI, monitoring, and licensing. Okay, so let's have a look at the models and pricing. So here you go at the high end, you've got a 2U device, which I'll show you the actual specs for that in a minute, mid-range and a lower end. So the benefit here, again, with the new ASG, is that you can field upgrade these devices now. So you could start with an example here, the ASG S420. It has 3 different user counts. You can initially license it for 1,000 users, and then as your user base grows, you can then add more on, and it's just a simple license upgrade, which is just called just simple license upgrade and the device just reboots and picks up the new licensing. Excuse me, particularly throat. So what they've done here is they've matched the proxy AG model with the ASG, similar ASG platform in terms of the bandwidth and the overall user counts. So again, starting at the top end, the SG520 and the ASG 500-20 both support 1 gigabits, and you can see that they start from 25,000 users up to 50,000 users. And again, going right back down to the low end, you have the SG230 and the ASG230, 50 megabits, and you can start as little as 500 users and ramp that up by a licensing upgrade to 2,500. So the other benefit here is you can use your existing licensing, so your existing Kaspersky, Sophos, and McAfee licenses can be applied to the ASG, and also to the content analysis section as well. And it's got complete integration with other malware analysis, the Symantec malware analysis engine and the FireEye sandboxing. Oh, and also the other thing here at the top, which I passed right over, apologies, is that the secure web gateway, the same options available. So you have encrypt, tap, flash proxy, global intelligence network, and threat pulse. So again, upgrading it to a model higher with a higher user count is offered. For example, here using 420 for 1,000 users, you can move that right up, and it's delivered. As I said, it's delivered as a license upgrade, only requiring a reboot for it to take effect. You can also use hardware upgrade kit, so you can upgrade one device to another to support more users and also to give more capacity. So I'm going to pass over this one. So yeah, some of the upgrades are offered in single-step increments. So again, this just gives you an example. So let's have a look at the UI. It was quite exciting. So as you see here, you're presented with a dashboard, which is pretty cool, actually. A lot better than the old content analysis or the secure web gateway dashboard. You've got a lot more information here at your fingertips. Now, if you look here at the top, so they've, they more or less put a front end on top of the the UI. So now, instead of just going straight into the secure web gateway when you log in, or straight into the content analysis when you log in, you're presented with this dashboard, and you've got the ability here to configure the proxy functions, the content analysis functions, or the off-box sandboxing. So here, looking at the proxy tab, you can see it's exactly the same as SGOS. So everyone who's familiar with the Blue Coat portfolio can see this is all exactly the same configuration, etc. And again, the same with the content analysis. The actual UI, once you've drilled down, is exactly the same. And again, moving on to the sandboxing, the dashboard here gives you a quick look at the threats. And the other thing to draw your attention to here is the ease of setup. So you've got the ability here to connect to a malware analysis appliance or FireEye at the tick of a box. And also here, it's very easily selectable what you wish to scan. So let's have a look at the commercials. Okay, so I guess the main thing here is what are the key differentiators here. So, why Symantec? Well, you got the malware detection with Global Intelligence Network. So they process over 3.3 billion transactions per day, detecting over 127 million malware individual pieces of malware. You got complete visibility into SSL traffic, and the important thing here is, this is not a replacement for a unified threat management platform or next-gen firewall. This is meant to work alongside them, but the benefit here really is you have more control over the internet conversation, and also from the SSL perspective, you actually are decrypting the whole session from the client. So you're getting a whole piece of content, and that gives you the ability to either send that off to a third party for scanning, like DLP, or you to scan it on box with the content analysis engine. Something you can't do on, say, like a Palo Alto, for example. So, what are the differentiators? So, as I said, the Global Intelligence Network offers the most accurate ratings, malnet tracking, ability to secure, as well as the enabled grounding control of the latest cloud apps. The Blue Coat web filter is one of the best web filters in service at the moment. The secure web gateway market, Symantec have got about 48% of market share, more than anybody else. And also you get the benefit of the next generation malware tools. So again, you get the whitelisting, up to 2 malware engines, static code analysis, sandbox brokering, etc., etc. And again, you've got the ability to completely integrate with, DLP. And the other benefit here as well, that's not listed on the slide, is that Symantec, since the acquisition of Blue Coat, have worked really hard to integrate all their appliances and all their software. So now you have endpoint protection, which can talk to secure web gateways and straight to DLP or CASB. Secure web gateway can talk straight to CASB or DLP as well, and they all work together. Even endpoint encryption. All these devices now, you can build a really interesting security platform that offers you best of breed protection. So that comes to the end of that. I just wanted to quickly mention about upcoming events. So we have our next webinar, which is going to be hosted by my colleague, Dr. Didar Sohi, and he's going to be talking about the information protection stuff. So this is the CASB, the data loss protection. He's going to be talking about that in his session. So please go ahead and sign up for that. And most importantly, we have our launch event. So think you know Symantec. Well, it's not really a launch event anymore because we've been trading for some time now. But really, what we want to do is get you all together, come in and meet some people from Symantec, listen to the message that we have to say, and we really would love you to come along because we're really excited about this upcoming event. Okay, and thank you.